So this video idea came from the necessity to hear things as a young entrepreneur, and maybe I'm not that young anymore, right? In my 30s, but I started my real estate business almost 3 years ago, and sometimes it really feels like I've been doing this for 30 years. Because even though I had a mentor and I started with another brokerage and I did a couple of things, no one really taught me the things that I'm gonna tell you about. And I really hope this is a good, beneficial video for you because it can be tough to be an entrepreneur. People think we're like chilling, having fun, having drinks by the ocean, by the pool every single day, and making our own hours and all that. And somehow the hour part is true, the other part's not. So we have a lot of responsibility and a lot of things because at the end of the day, if you don't sell, if you don't work, if you don't have leads that are becoming sales, then you pretty much are not gonna eat. And someone has to pay the mortgage. You know, it is what it is. So number one, I'm going to beg you to put boundaries. I get calls at 10 p.m., texts at 7. You know, people actually expect you. And maybe it's because if you don't have this, I would really advise you to get a cell phone, like a different cell phone from your business to your personal. Maybe it's because I don't know how people see this, but yeah, why are you calling me at 9 p.m.? It's unless the world is ending, unless it's actually something really important, and most likely can't wait till tomorrow, 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. And we all have families, we all have things to do. I want to do other things besides work related matters, and you kind of need to put a stop or a pause into things. People will really take as much as you are able to give or you want to give. And I really need you to put boundaries because you're going to get really tired real soon. And we're not about that life. We're supposed to be enjoying this process. Okay, número dos. It's going to be to really, really be careful about your clients and who you choose to be a client. Okay? In my beginning, and I've said this story before, as a real estate agent, I drove 1 hour to help these people out. I had no contract with them. I knew them, we were familiar. We had connections that were close to us. They had their pre-approval process done, which is always like the number one thing we usually ask as real estate agents. So that was good. Didn't know really the area that they were trying to find a house, and that could be another conversation. But I somewhat knew them, right? There was a relationship. I can't say we were friends, but we were close enough. We had each other's numbers. Met with them for coffee, drove that hour, showed them houses, and then through the process, they tell me, hey, actually, we just saw a house yesterday and without you. And that's hard. That's a complication here, especially when you're a real estate agent. If you don't have a contract and someone has seen a house without you, they don't need to represent you at all. They can pretty much go ahead and buy the house after you've put out the work and you're not gonna get any money. And what happened? They told me they were gonna go and put an offer on the house. Okay? What happened was that something happened. I was like, okay, well, thank you. Have fun. Enjoy your day. And they didn't put an offer on they ended up not putting an offer on the house because they actually called me a few days later saying, oh, the owner's being sketchy and etc. and blah blah blah. But we want to keep working with you. And I was like, wait, no. Basically, what you're saying is that you can do this any other time and pretty much betray me. So I actually asked them to sign a buyer's agent's representation, meaning you absolutely have to use me, of whatever the term of the contract is. You're going to have to use me as a buyer's agent in order to represent you legally. And they disappeared. And that's another thing. Casper has a lot of family members you had no idea existed. It's disappeared. disappear. Everyone's disappearing. After they said they needed you, they wanted you, you've worked with them. The saddest part, you guys, is that after a while, I don't know how many months come in, I see they bought a house I had showed them. That's the saddest. I mean, I was livid to say the least. And we're back. Unfortunately, after I finished this video and started editing, I realized that the second part of the video was not actually recorded. So put that on your lessons to learn video point for this video. But other than that, I really wanted to continue with the flow. I didn't want to start recording again because I thought that the first part flew really well. But besides that, I really wanted to continue the conversation. I believe the first and second point were really good. So I'm just going with the flow here and go with and talk about the next other points that I do have for you guys. So point number three. So point number three is actually gonna be to know your worth. It's very important for you to understand how valuable you are, how valuable is your time, and to understand that and make other people know. I give a service, right? It's about what I know, who I know, what I can do to actually make a deal happen and be able to provide that correct deal to the buyer and then to the seller, or vice versa. But a lot of people don't understand this. For some reason, when you provide a service, people are more, how do I say this? They're just not, they don't really understand. Let's go with that. They don't really understand your full work. When you go to the dentist, you get a cleaning and you understand that the dentist clean your teeth, or so you think. We actually really never know how well they did it, right? I don't think there's a measurement per se. But if you liked it, if your teeth are shining, etc., and you like the doctor and whatnot, you go back to them, even if you hadn't been there before. When you provide a service for like this, for some reason, people don't want to commit, or they don't really understand what they're getting themselves into and what actually, it entails all completely. So it's really important for you to understand that not every client is going to be right there for you. They're not probably going to understand your pricing. They might not understand the whole concept, and it's okay for you to teach them and to educate them in the system and all of that, but not always it's going to work out. So please know your worth and know that sometimes it just doesn't work out. My point number 4 is going to be to surround yourself with people that are actually going to uplift you and help you and befriend you and going to coach you and mentor you. And this is extremely hard. For some reason, we gravitate to our family and friends, but they don't understand entrepreneurship. They don't understand what's happening. They don't understand our daily struggles and what we do here and there and everywhere. So it's really important that you actually surround yourself with people that understand your journey, and then they're going to help you to lift you up, and vice versa at the same time. It's really important for you to know that your family and friends are probably not going to be there for you at all or in a big measure or in a big part of this, or they're just not gonna understand. Especially, I can tell you, when I started YouTube, I thought that my friends were going to be watching my YouTube videos all the time, reposting, sending it to other friends, etc., because I had done that for other people. But now I understand that, one, not everyone thinks the same way or acts the same way, right? And then secondly, it would be unfair for me to ask my parents to watch every single video that I make. It would not be like, they have things to do. They have work. They have their own lives. It's okay for you to not support me in that sense, but it's not okay for you to not support me when there's an opportunity and you don't mention my name. There's a big difference when it comes to that. Understanding that, hey, you don't have to tell everyone that I'm a realtor, or that I provide this service, or I do this and that. But I do want you to mention my name once you hear that opportunity and you think of me. Because that's really, it's all about relationships, it's all about network, but that's actual support. That's actual support. Every so often asking, hey, how are you? What's going on? I maybe haven't seen your videos in a while, but I saw this title or whatever. But that's actually understanding that that's real support. You can't be there every single day, but at the moments that counts, people are going to be there, and you need people like that in order to keep you going and continue with your success. Point number 5 is going to be to trust the journey. This is a destination, not a marathon, or it is a marathon. All you got to know is that buckle up, this can be a bumpy ride. There's going to be literally like it's like a roller coaster, in and out, turning around, 180s, 360s. I haven't actually ridden a roller coaster in a while, but that's not part of this. What I'm trying to say is that we want to glamorize and we want to make entrepreneurship so free and amazing that we forget that we're not always going to be high. I can tell you that when I started as an entrepreneur 3 years ago, I cried so much. I literally cried so much. And it was my brother who told me, like, hey, are you actually gonna give up after all this you've invested and all the work you've done? So I've had my times that I'm like, hey, my business is gonna have to go on second plan right now. It's going to have to take a breather for my mental health, and understand that sometimes you're not always going to be on the top. We see on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and we see that these people are thriving, but really are they? Because we only are showcasing the positives. So it's really important to be vulnerable, to understand where you're at, and understand that this is a process. You're not going to be always winning. What really matters is that you're not going to quit, and that you're actually, even if you have to take a step back, but you're actually going to progress and take 2 steps forward after this. Analyze where you are, and then you can actually take those steps. Up to here, these were my 5 points. Thank you so much for joining. I really hope this was beneficial for you and that you are learning with me. It is a process, so thank you up till now. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please like and subscribe, and we'll talk soon.